All that scraping for a hit of resin. We're finally ready. Launch Operation Jade Helm. My script deal on the Captain Crunch biopic fell through. They went with the other guy. It was a girl, actually, and her script was so much better. It's part that hurts. Knowing it wasn't good enough, not just that they didn't pick me. It's like, damn. Can't believe this. We just had a baby. I just got a huge fight with my wife. It's just that when Kalia calls those girls and the Rainbow Rangers ride, Floof is with them. It says in the song. And we couldn't get any reception, and she said, I pride myself on making sensible decisions for the felines in my care. But the state's draconian anti-litter laws prevent me from choosing the cat litter I find most appropriate for the felines under my charge. It's time we...
Nah, dog, you glued your head to the wall.
Hey there, guys, we got another jingle workshop idea. I just want to bounce it off you. This one's for some kind of like nonprofit organization trying to like lower oil costs or something. Okay, here we're gonna do it and see what you guys think. Gonna pour hot soup on your face. Gonna glue my hand to the whole wide human race. Cause my butt is my butt and that's why it's my butt. What? My butt is my butt and that's why it's my butt. What? My butt is my butt and that's why it's my butt. What? My butt is my butt and that's why it's my butt. That's why. I mean, what do you guys think? Like, the end is kind of unexpected, but that's the memorable, that's the hook that will get people to notice.
What the customer doesn't know is we filled his ordinary colostomy bag with raw hamburger meat. Let's watch now. My name is Steve Lube, the Inner Tube Dude, and I'm here to give you some hot tips for when you're ready to ring them tubular bells. Today's tip is, this is not an inner tube. You will drown. Keep finding these things in there, these like huge boxes of wheat things, but like the thing is they say they're party size on them. And it's like, can you imagine? Like, hey, you want to come to my party? Oh, who else is going to be there? No one's coming, but I got a huge... Have you ever tried using a murder weapon as a guitar pick? It actually gives pretty good tone, especially when used near the bridge. So there were all these age-appropriate ladies the other day, and I was like a guy staring directly at their butts without trying to hide what I was doing, which I thought they should be flattered by, and they slapped me. And I was like, bonus! I thought I was just going to stare at butts, and now they're slapping me in the face with their butt? Here's a solution for your solve. It's a solvent for a salve, and it's an unguent for a balm. So if you rub it on your bum, I might not say go to hell. The end was a little weak, but I mean, come on, how long do you want me to think about this? In the 1980s, poop storms devastated the eastern Alamassa region. Scientists clocked these storms at over because they had been over since the 80s. But when they were happening, their speeds were quite tremendous. High-velocity shitstorm, raved one meteorologist. I think our bottom front teeth are straight. They're not. Holy shit, he's right. My bottom teeth are weird. What do I do? I'm literally leaving to the hospital to have my fourth baby, and I still have to stop to say Billy Corgan sucks. And I was like, Mikey, look, you can't just, there's a whole process, and only certain places accept sperm donations. You can't just run up and donate sperm at random to whoever you want in any situation. And he's like, you're crazy, man. I was like, talk to a lawyer if you... Society's a trash heap, folks. It's a dung pile, and it's populated by just garbage people with trash values digging through this filth for the poopiest diaper so they can smear it on their tongues. It's disgusting. We needed to stop vibrant, world-changing impressionistic art, so I threw a bottle of hot soup on the Koch brothers. I'm just here to remind you that all guys should be ashamed of how much dumber than women they are. Instead of plotting against women, why don't you find ways to serve their ends? Because they should rightfully be leaders of humanity. I think deep down, all guys know this. I'm going to talk about harmful stereotypes, and here's one I've heard ever since I was a kid in the 80s from my grandmother, people my age, as parents, posting it to warn other parents. Nobody is hiding drugs in candy and giving it to kids. No one's hiding drugs in stickers. No one is giving free drugs to kids. This is a harmful stereotype. Now, whenever I try to sell drugs to kids, they're like, do you have the kind that look like candy? I want some sticker drugs. They're free, right? This is a business, and stop spreading lies. If you're like me, you have skin. Well, I found the perfect topical solution for you. It is Will Smith Oscar Slap Hydrochloride. Use it on your face. It'll slap you with great results. Back when I was on lake duty, I knew this guy named Lawyer Arnold. He was a really good dude. He was a delivery driver. And him and Sushi Pete was this guy made of like actual sushi. It smelled really terrible. We were still friends. We used to play fly fishing, but they never caught any flies. You've got to help this. Professor Woodward is trying to drown us. Your Honor, this man tried to kill Walt me. Is this true? Did you try to kill this man? Your Honor, I said kill Walt, not kill you. I'm aware of what I said. Answer the question. No, sir, I did not try to kill this man. I said he tried to kill Walt. There'll be no further disturbances from the court. Sir, did you try to kill this man? Yes, sir, Your Honor, I did try to kill this man. He sucks. Plaintiff, do you in fact suck? My mama don't think so. So you do. Okay, proceed to kill this man. Your Honor, I was trying to kill Womp. I know what I said. What? Did the Atrociraptor, a fearsome theropod whose name means atrocious thief, steal? That was so atrocious. Well, he raided the dumpster of a rural Wendy's and found a disgruntled employee's furious and garbled manifesto, which he hand-delivered to the president of Pixar Films, disgraced president of Pixar Films, this sexual harassment president of Pixar Films, and said, here, I've got a script. You can call it The Good Dinosaur. For this he shall ever be branded as an atrocious thief. Hello and welcome to Hector Manta Ray's Killing Time. I'm your host, Victor Manta Ray. No relation. I'm filling in for Hector today because I killed him to steal his show. Today's guest will be body. Today's guest will be blood. You may know him from the previous host of the show. Saying I hate it. It's like people always tell me my videos aren't funny. And it's like, I'm not saying they are funny. It's just with YouTube, they don't have to be anything. They don't get canceled. So I just like taking a shower and going to the grocery store. If you don't like it, you clicked it. Okay, guys, I was wrong. I was so wrong. I watched Rings of Power last night, and it was the most emotionally moving experience of my life. No, really what I did was poop for half an hour, and it was way better. I want to say I don't hold truck with communists. I hold truck with a like-minded group of fellow-minded men and ladies who we all pitched in together. We bought some land. We farm it together to keep our life going. We built a house. We live in this house together, and we bought a beautiful truck. And that's who I hold truck with. We go out every night after all the farming is done, after all the chores have been done, which we do together as a group, and we hold that truck. And when we're not thinking about holding truck, we're thinking about how much we hate those dirty communists. Oh yes, I am important. I train for over 3 hours a day. I automobile for 4 and I aeroplane for 7. So a full schedule, but a rich life. It's playing the game. If I felt it was worth my energy, I could choose to remain resentful of many of my middle school teachers. They treated me to the point of cruelty for reasons that make no sense. But I've grown beyond such things. I'm a man now. I don't even remember the names of Mr. Holland, Mrs. Cork, and Mrs. I just love this rumor that's been around for like 40 years or more, that every Halloween, kids are going to get drugs in their candy. It's like there'd be decades of news reports, like dozens of children tripping balls, many of them as young as 5, have been admitted. I'm more anti-Prometheus myself. I think we all hate being micromanaged. It's almost a universal concern, which is why you can imagine my horror at the municipal and state judiciary micromanaging my ability to call a certain number of gals.
Why don't I smell right?
You smell fine. It's your voice that's wrong. You don't sound right.
I take a shower. I bathe regularly. I should smell fine.
Fine. There's not a problem with your smell. It's the way you sound. You don't sound right.
Oh, you're just saying that because I can't taste anything because of COVID disease.
Whether you can taste or not doesn't come into it. It doesn't come into it. Now you're making me very mad. Very mad indeed.
You're making me very potatoes, mashed potatoes. Think we punch a guy we don't know dead on in the face and yell, order.
I think we should smell some guy we don't know. A man named Walter. The first person named Walter we see. And we should smell him very deeply from head to toe.
Now you're the one who doesn't smell right. Fancy.
What is Donald Sutherland's favorite brand of refrigerator, guys? Wait for it. Northern Air. Because it's like Sutherland. Yeah, like Northern Air, Sutherland. It's good. It's and on tonight's special episode of Celebrity Avian Bear Baiting, we have Chelsea Parrott, Ryan, actually a little baby Gosling, and our special guest, Senator Owl Franken, not Franklin. My friend recently took me to see Carlsbad Caverns. I said, Rupert, if this is how much they're charging for Carl's bad caverns, I'd hate to see Carl's good ones. 'Tis the season for artisanal cat poop. He's bees and I'm pulling it on out of the booties with tweezers and I glue on the pieces and I literally eat it because artisanal cat poopy is drying up my feet and I'm cat poop. Everybody say cat poop. Mr. Anderson, bathing in your urine has been a privilege. Whoa. That's not how this story's supposed to go. I think you'll find, Mr. Anderson, that it's going to go in a very urinatory direction. I want to say, as a successful entertainer, I have a responsibility to all the kids watching. So have you done your homework? Be nice to your sister or your brother. No, you cannot have any candy until you've completed your extra work. Thank you. This guy wants you to always say, why are you always hassling Menards? Like, if you asked him for anything, could you hand me that or get me that report? But why are you always hassling Menards? Craziest guy, he died in a car accident, right after that when I hit him with the Chevrolet. Piedmont of Piedmont High School. I'm sorry we all teased you that your last name rhymed with the name of the town. It was immature. Hat, 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 rack, 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 hat, rack, hat, rack, hat, rack. I'm working on if there's a Dora reboot and there's a hat rack character, what the jingle would be. I'm always prepared. Hat rack. Word, you spend 40% or more of your day trying to poop, but it just hurts, and your stomach is full of poop, but nothing comes out, then you need Punch-in-a-Gut. Once you experience Punch-in-a-Gut, you will have poop flying out your back. You will have poop flying out your ass. So please, get someone huge and angry to give you a Punch-in-a-Gut today. Free that poopy. As a responsible adult, I have no choice but to take an interest in my health, and lately I've grown concerned about my stool. It looks like shredded cardboard soaked in the blood of an atrocious failing of the human spirit and centuries long past. My doctor recommends stopping PC. Some pronounce it marinara sauce, others pronounce it dachshund. But honestly, this latter group is a fringe movement, and by even platforming this misconception, I'm probably causing untold damage to thousands of fine pasta eaters like yourself. My butt, my rule. This has been something I've lived by for the last couple weeks. To say making this change has been one of the most empowering decisions of my life. So that's when I fired my gardener. I informed my senior cabinet of advisors at 11:43 a.m. that effective immediately at noon tomorrow, I am no longer president of Columbia Records. I've been working on a new song. I think you guys are going to really like it. It's an unusual instrument, but it's a great song. Yeah, okay, here we go. I says I P says O I P says I P P O I P P P U C P P O I P says U C P P O I P P P I C P P P O I P P P I C P P P O says I P says P P U P P says I C U P says O I P P P U C P P P O I P P P P P P says P P P P P V E E V E V E E E V E E E M M M M M N V. My newborn daughter isn't even 3 weeks old, and already she's getting mail from the government. They want to socialize all her security and give it to this administration? I don't think so. I said to my wife, what do you think that is? A barcode tattoo template that we're supposed to put on her skin? This is disgusting. If you think this is as disgusting as I was, they want to administer their version of security to all of society. And we can't let this happen with babies. This is sick. If you think this is sick on another level, then I need you to call your local librarian and request the following information. How do you read? What is a book? Claustrophobia, the fear of having heights. Clanderphobia, the irrational desire to eat mouse tail. Chinorrhiptia, a rare skin condition causing reptilian scales. Pinophagophobia, irrational fear of incredibly uncommon neural parasite.
So I hired a dominatrix last night. It was a total ripoff. She couldn't do any tricks with dominoes. I had to teach her myself.
When I was about 4, my mom said, she's like, you little poop factory. And I was like, that's not entirely true. I also produce dangerous psychoactive venom. And she's like, what on earth are you? And I was like, she's like, I got really excited because they said they discovered a new species of dinosaur. Then I saw that it was extinct and it was just the bones. It's like, people keep thinking that I care. Do you pick on me? I don't care. I'm tough. I'm really tough. I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to be totally real with you guys about being a new dad. For like years, I thought that Saruman said, you have an excellent way of paying. It's all kind of overwhelming. By framing quiet quitting as something other than work-life balance and eliminating the tautology that is naturally present in these concepts, employers are attempting to criminalize in the mental sense, not in the legalistic sense, the act of doing something other than maximally profiting your employers. What you perceive as quiet quitting is much closer to the amount of labor that is necessary to sustain society and nourish its interests and development. So while you were voting this November, remember that there's a sheep being airlifted out of Scotland every 5 minutes, and it's being sent to Istanbul because of Obamacare. So if you can't find the heart and the decency to go into the schools and preach critical race theory to kindergartners and encourage as many people as possible to transition genders, then you're not a real American. And that's why flossing has become such a major part of this. Crazy dude dressed like Robin Hood, like, jumped out and he said he was going to tally hoes. Before he said anything about who came first, second, third, he goes, Sally fourth. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm too much of a gentleman to tally hoes, but if you think Sally is fourth, she is fourth on nobody's. I'm just saying, like, you must have made her nervous or something, dude. And it's just so unchivalrous to announce it like that. Yes! I finally got another script greenlit. Oh, this is going to help so much. It'll help pay off all those antibiotic pills. But this is the thing. It's a prequel. I'm jumping in on the prequel fashionability. Let's see if you can get... I can't say what it's to, but I'll say the title is Apocalypse Shortly. Pickpocket got me. I walked through a giant crowd and when I came out, my pocket was just full of guitar picks. Nice ones, too. Thick, like I like. Christmas is coming early this year.
Hi, I'm Sally Struthers, and for just pennies a day, you can eat delicious kittens like this one, delivered directly to your door. With your generous support, we can raise more of these free-range, farm-grown kittens, and that means little guys like Petey here won't have to worry about when it'll be their turn to be in a sandwich. Hey guys. I've been in bed all day trying to come up with a sick Chiletto recipe, but I'm like, what the hell even is that? Is that even really a word? It's been a nightmare. My pubes are falling out. I haven't even told my wife that yet. But Watson and Crick stole Rosalind Franklin's X-ray crystallography photographs of the structure of DNA and based their quote-unquote discovery on the findings from her work that they didn't credit her for that she would have found if they hadn't taken her materials. I'm just not going to do it anymore. I'm going to stop trying to teach myself to be able to see polarized light the way that many birds can, because I just don't think it's something you can learn. It's something you got to be born with. Answer me this, political guys. If you honestly believe that a comedian should be able to say whatever they want and I can't get offended and then say it out loud, then how are you able to express to me that you're offended by what I'm saying? By your own beliefs. Since you are offended, you must know. Some people called it alchemy. Others called it fate. And I'm like, seriously, people, those are such different concepts. You're really having this general of a disagreement? Fuck, man.
What you kids today don't seem to realize is that when I was your age, I used to kill people and eat them. And it was delicious, and we were proud to do it.
We already know about our crooked teeth. I'm afraid this YouTube channel will remain quite operational.
Look, guys, I'm gonna run away. Invisible Susan keeps stealing all my skirts. My family, they all tell me, look, you've got to stop. There is no Invisible Susan. Then why are all my skirts missing? You've never had any skirts, huh?
Mama, Abe Lincoln stole my toilet water. Abe Lincoln is stealing it. He's stealing it to drink it. He splashes it beneath his armpits. Mama, it's Abe Lincoln. He's stealing my toilet water again.
The audacity, folks, the audacity of this woman. She said I was surly, rude, and impertinent. And I said, ma'am, if you have a problem with the work I've done for this company.
That's the amazing thing about YouTube and technology, and that's what I want to share with you. If you can inspire just one kid to bake a potato into his hair and then go to school like that, and there's a cloud of flies starting to form and gnats, and it's disgusting. You can hear when he's coming around the corner, zzz, and everyone laughs and points and goes, what the hell is wrong with you? You baked a now rotting potato into your hair. What is the deal? And that kid stands up proudly, looks them all in the eye and says, because I suck, and I'm not in denial about it like you crazy bastards. If I could inspire just one kid to do that, please do not mention my name on the police report, please. I'm workshopping this new jingle for this new commission that I got, and I'm happy with the jingle itself. I'm feeling uneasy about the product. I'm wondering whether I should have taken this commission, you see. But anyway, tell me what you think. Here goes. Miracle scrote, sprinkle it on the scrotum and get pure scrotal growth. You're gonna be like, whoa, miracle scrote. And I think you can see what I mean. We all agree that's probably a AAA AAA tier jingle. And I didn't mean AAA AAA tier, I meant 6 A's. But I'm not sure I want. Let's just say I'm glad they don't put the jingle artist's name in the ads. Money spent. The military was successful in its efforts to turn my hair into an aircraft carrier. Problem is, my neck isn't strong enough to support the aircraft. I've all seen these little twist ties they use to close bread packages, but did you know you can use them to poke a hole in your wall if you just keep doing it? You're an elitist leftist. You're addicted to adrenochrome, but the local children population is running a little thin. The law enforcement's a little too on to you. What can you do? Pulp up at least 20 vols in a milkshake and drink it. It's better than nothing. How is it that America is supposed to be the land of the free, but I always wind up in jail whenever I freely assault a police officer? Write your local congressperson now. What are we gonna do? Have you tried pooping your pants?
Yes.
Well, crap then, because that was my only plan. Tough life being a dead guy. A lot of flies, a lot of people offended by your smell. Believe me, even when I was alive, I had that problem. And it's like, I'm just trying to get by. I'm just trying to get through death the same way you're trying to get through life. So just back off. Like, imagine like a feather, but the closer you looked at it, it was just like more feathers growing out of each quill. And if you looked on each of those quills, it'd be more feathers. That's kind of what life is like, man.
Call me Bit because I drink while I sit. They call me Bap. I take a crap on your nap. They call me Bo because I'm way beyond hope. They call me Bow.
We need to learn to be way more tolerant and understanding of those with different viewpoints from our own if we're ever going to heal as a country, okay? For example, have those of us on the left ever considered that the religious right maybe is struggling to accept these new standards on gender and sexual orientation identity simply because they haven't experimented with piss stuff yet? Maybe instead of preaching and ramming gay characters down their throats, you just need to pee on them.
Hey, Bert, why are we turning this guy's head into a jack-o'-lantern again, hey, Bert? For the last time, Ernie, it's not a real jack-o'-lantern. We're gonna put a handle on him and use him for a trick-or-treating bag. You don't sound right, Bert. Are you okay?
Valerie Singleton is a liar. Every single one of the ton of things Valerie Singleton said about me is untrue. First off, Valerie Singleton is wrong to call me a snowman. I went skiing once when I was 12. I broke my knee. Valerie Singleton is wrong. Valerie Singleton was wrong to reshingle my basement shed when I hadn't asked her to. Despite little to no risk of water damage in my basement, Valerie Singleton embarked on a uncontracted decision to build an extra set of waterproof shingles into my basement shed. I'm very upset. Valerie Singleton did the wrong thing. Valerie Singleton, you should be ashamed of yourself. Do not vote for Valerie Singleton. Anthony Harmonus for county mayor. He's not Valerie Singleton. Everything that you've heard about me from Jimmy Keister is not only a lie, it is a deeply untrue misleading of the truth. I want all my YouTube fans go to his page, Jimmy Keister, and type, "You are not a good YouTuber," and that'll help. Zodiac Killer, he's not even on my level. Mailman said I'm sorry and went downstairs. Shireen had been gone these 7 years, which meant my butt was feeling that. I'm having one of those days where it's like, sure, everything's 30% off at Costco. But what your friends don't understand is that it's like 40% on everywhere else, man. They just don't get it. Life advice from a true master. First impressions are not the most important. You've been lied to your entire life. 0th impressions are the most important. Because before 20 seconds ago, you had never seen or heard me before, and you didn't think I was a smug, discomfort-inducing douchebag. What's the difference between the presidency of former President Donald Trump and the systematic murder of every white man in America by women with a handgun? Well, it's that the white men deserve to be killed. Workshopping another jingle. This one's kind of a rap, but don't worry. I'm just a composer. Someone else will be performing, and it won't be nearly as bad. But it's like, gotta drop a doot out your boot, but the poot just won't scoot. I got you, boo. Try a laxative. It's affordable, too. I think it's a little too jaunty. I think in the beginning, I need to capture that, like, we're in crisis. We're having a digestive crisis, and then that gives it something to latch onto, like a lifeline out of this, poopy problem is this product. That you always, when you're composing a jingle, you have to tell it has to have a beginning, a middle, and an end if you're telling a story. And you want the beginning of that story is to be, oh no, I don't have the product. The middle to be, wait, there's a solution. And the end to be like, now I know what I have to do. So if you follow this principle, I think we're going to move a lot of laxative and a lot of bowel. I was driven insane over 400 years ago
by the ghost of my own father.
Hi, Dinky Bo here. I just kind of fell in a pit.
I drowned at the bottom of a lake of infinite sorrow.
I'm doing it myself.
Here's a message to all you other upper crust elites. We need to stop it with the adrenochrome at once. I found something way better. You simply need to use artificial insemination to impregnate a fetus in a pregnant woman, then snort the synovial fluid straight from her womb.
We have unobtainable, irrefutable proof of evidence. Evidence that cannot be gainsaid by the public. We will not be held subject to mob rule in the face of such overwhelming justice. And what did the facts show in this? Unequivocally, irrefutably.
Bimini Battenshire guilty. When it comes to filmmaking, I found a way to work entirely outside the major studio system. It's to have nothing to do with filmmaking and just like work in an office or something. They leave you completely alone, total creative freedom. Look, I ain't trying to go soft, but these kittens are getting big and they're cute. I'll always go soft for kittens. Their mama is a sweet girl, and the kittens are little treasures. Eating them will be so much. Think about your hair. I think about your butt. I won't spare every waking moment of every sleeping moment with you. You're coming out a little strong, baby. You seem a little irrational. You know I got issues from being hurt before. Don't talk to me. Who's this again? When I was a kid, my Uncle Memnock used to tell me, boy, there's two types of bear traps in this world. A type without bear in them, and the type with a bear in them. But Uncle Memnock, which is most dangerous, said the little boy. One with the bear in them will eat you. The ones without bear in them will snap you. All right, it's pretty dark, guys, but so far my plan's working. Invisible Susan has not followed me, just Invisible Tammy, and she's usually more supportive. So I'm sort of in this really cool place, I know, by the water treatment plant where there's this big pipe, and my visible friends, Roddy, Sally, and Why Don't You Shut Up? Oh, I wish I didn't have to do this. Jessica are there. So I'm going to go hang out with them for a while and get my head straight. But I'm so glad to be away from Invisible Susan. Oh, there's why the cell phone tower, the 5G, gives me heightened plane energies. I did get COVID, but it was probably not just because of the 5G. They never had these lights before. They came on when I moved. I think this is Invisible Susan's doing. I'm just going to... No, I won't tell you my... Well, I'm taking a plan for kids. We have to strike where we can stand for our beliefs to reason. Because without freedom, where do we have? And that is where I go. Because every day I strive for the most accidental ideals to topple all. Here's a special hint. You can fill up waterbed mattresses that are empty. By hacking with an ice pick a hole in any sewage pipe that flows away from your house. Once you've got about 20 or so of these full, and maybe you can find a cheaper way to store the fluid, but then you got enough to fill about an average size hole in the ground. What you do is you kind of muck around in it. The tricky part is everyone to get out again. And honestly, you got 20 water beds where it's a raw sewage and you're floating. My friend's like, why don't you hook up a hose from the hole? The thing, I'm not trying to get blasted out a hole by everybody in town. I just want a nice leisurely float in a pile of waste. Pile of waste. Pile of waste. Let's call it what it is. Social distancing that we practiced during COVID was not social distancing. It was meat distancing. It was human body logistic distancing. What I practice in my life is complete social distancing from all society. In my lifetime, there have been many largest known dinosaur species as they've uncovered new finds that have led to a ballooning in the largest known size of these majestic creatures. From Seismosaurus to Ultrasaurus to Patagonatitan, these creatures have increased in size and name through the years, but now it ends. Scientists have discovered not only the largest sauropod currently known, but also the largest sauropod that could possibly have existed. Its name is the fearsome Ultraseismopatagonatitan Titanotitan, and it is larger than 7 of your Earth Jupiters. It would need to eat over 400 Earths of vegetation a second just to keep from shrinking. For the first time, a fossilized song of the creature has been recovered. Now that I'm grown, I eat 400 Earths every morning to help me be large. Science fact. So I was beating this bigot, I thought, in the face with a shovel the other day, and he was just screaming, and I didn't understand, and I didn't understand. His teeth are all mashed into his lips and his tongue. But finally, he was afraid of trains, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir, you're free."
Epic bobo poodle so icky boodle doodle doo. Wanky bada boobity do do. Swanky swanky swoo swoo swoo.
If this were happening on YouTube, you bet I'd be sticking up for. I'd be like, there's some YouTube channels over there where they say some pretty radical shit, and I don't like it because I think Sargon the cat is going to come out of that shit. In every society that has stopped electrocuting women with cattle prods directly in their vaginas for more than 5 seconds has tumbled instantly to the floor. This is the fate, sadly, of the West. But what if I could give your fat unemployed uncle not just hedonistic pleasure, but also slip him an Ativan? What if I could do it for, say, $5? Oh my God, you gotta help us. Democrats want us dead, and the killings have already begun. People are always asking me, how are you, COVID? And I will tell you how to survive COVID if you catch it or do not wish to see. First, guys, just simple wash your hands. You just want to use no soap and splash right up your nose. Guys, two, you want to find used cat litter in other people's garbages. And here's your cat. And then you just scoop it in your... Next trick, you want to fish strangers' meal out of their meal box, and just make sure you get all the germs. I've got to urinate my dinner with the Simple, what you do is urinate down your own leg till it permeates your clothes, and then what you gotta do is you get real close to grocery carts, and you gotta make as though you're in love with the cart in order to spread, because urine is sanitary, folks. And if you don't want to pee down your leg, if you say you're a little too shy to go humping grocery carts, a great thing you could do is pee in giant empty milk jugs and then just dump it directly onto gas station pump handles. Please! People who go to Wisconsin just for the cheese, it's not going to be a letdown. Believe me, when you eat Wisconsin cheese, you feel like you're really taking a bite of the American dream realized right there on your tongue. And I'm not just saying that because paid for by the Wisconsin Cheese Association of Dairy Farmers. You can't rectify my love for you because it breaks deep inside. Hi there, I'd like to talk to you today, but I don't know how. I'm shy. What do you get when you combine Sir Elton John with a saber-toothed tiger? Sir Elton Smile-a-John.
I get the Napoleon part of his name, but I've never been able to in either sense of the word bone apart from other people or to just bone people apart with the intensity of it. So I'm just saying he must have been different other just than that he was short. I can tell you now that Destructo, the only radon-based toothpaste, is the only toothpaste brand that has paid me to hold it up and say, Destructo, the only radon-based toothpaste. My lawyers have advised me to say, take no stand on whether I use the product. I see a lot of shit in my day, but none of it pisses me off as much as that subset of shit I've seen in my days that most pisses me off. I find that sort of like a mathematical limit, like a logical boundary that my current methods of analysis are unable to. In light of Tulsi Gabbard announcing that she is leaving the Democratic Party, I'd like to announce that I hereby am resigning my membership of the Country Music Hall of Fame. Here's a helpful tip this Halloween season. Lock the door so Murder Man doesn't kill you. I've been thinking about ancillary British mysticism a lot, and in this framework it destabilizes what I feel is the current base of cultural capital in the East. You hear everyone talk about the West. I think they're missing the mark, and this is how I know this, because the implosion of social conditions up and down the eastern seaboard is much more inclusive and indicative of the future substrate that connects us in the global ideology and eschatology. And people, what they don't understand is that through funding this kind of mysticism, we are creating a space, it's like a vacuum, and it's going to pull all the resources towards it as long as we permit it. It's like a self-sustaining whirlpool, but that means it can also be switched off. So when I'm considering this, I think we need to get down to the Biggleswade Town Hall Council and tell them this form of mysticism is wrong for. A psychometrist said that my
my intelligence followed a mean Gaussian distribution. I was like, I never would. I would only follow the nice ones. He says, see what I mean? See that? Buppa free. They're giving out free buppa, yeah. Buppa free. We got the buppa, no charge. Buppa free.
For just pennies a day, you could adopt these senseless kittens before they're destroyed too late.
Tell people they're just bumper stickers, but really they're full of spit and it burns when you kiss. This will trick the followers of the frog machine into going into the corner. It's you, no, don't hurt me.
Public service announcement. You and your friends should avoid publicly butt-shaming at specific individuals like Nadia Piershadley, Vincent Haraglio, and Chronica Memuels. It would be wrong. And don't say anything about the gnarly butt of Carista Clafacate.
Walk through your doorway, and then you live in fear of who might come near to your posterior.
American boys are exposed to porn, which gives us the idea that racial categories are nothing more than flavors of porn from a very young age. I try to suggest something similar to some of my coworkers, and I'm a HR
It's funny, yeah, I got this on my lip. It looks like I got in a fight, but it's actually my 20-month-old daughter gave this to me. I tried to cheat at bowling, and she caught me. Every night when I close my eyes, it's just, I steam press walruses, and I wake up and they're just flat, and there's blood everywhere. Doctor, what do I do?
You need to try Herticure. Details apply.
Oh, Mother, Abraham Lincoln, he came here. He stole my toilet water. He put creatures in my bodies. Made me do things. Say lies. Toilet water. Despite my best efforts to not die, I keep being killed. So, unfortunately, I will have to announce the permanent closure of my Law and Order themed tea shop and Eurorack barbecue until two conditions are met. A, I get copyright clearance from NBC Universal. My lawyers have been working on it interminably. And B, I come back to life again.
How is a pencil like a pen? They're both writing about this. I gotta try. How is a duck like a raven? They're both birds. How is Fox News like socialism? Well, if they gerrymander enough, it'll be socialized news. I was doing a Dan Fogarty remix for the publisher, and I got a call. They wanted me, I guess, to like fly this yacht to Bermuda on like a turtle's back. And I was like, dude, we're already on a turtle's back. It's turtles all the way to Bermuda.
What's the difference between Roger Daltrey on Travelocity.com and Pete Townsend in police custody? Roger Daltrey was researching how to get away from it all. Townsend was trying to get away with it all by claiming research. Blah!
I think it's fun because I live in a monaco and I won't be performing because I'm performing in a monaco and then that's what they say and then they look at my brain and say, oh, Mr. I'm sorry, you can't think. Living in bottles and living in Canada, living in Africa, I live in Africa, man, I live in Africa, like I live in Africa, I live in Africa, think, Africans, you ask Africans, when the sea, I have a problem with those that making my teeth, see what I mean, I go, I blow the steam, chickens in the floor, chickens in the basement, chickens in the level 4, chickens in my replacement, my replacement chicken in soup, and smarter than me, and I'll smell better too. Chicken, you can light it on fire before it falls in the fits, and then it flames in the fur, and it sets in the flames, so the forecast is really briefly right on the I'm playing the sewer full of chicken, well, I like a light coming up through the rain, like what? I like, so you can go to the now, like a sewer full of chicken laid all over now. Flame the chicken is a gosh, flame the chicken liver, flame the chicken has been a buzz, flame the chicken is 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 a buzz, what's the funny buzz here, what's the chicken, what's the chicken, what's the chicken, chicken guy, right, what's the chicken, what's the chicken, chicken down, the chicken duck, the chicken down, the chicken running down, so it's the guy that loses in the day, hey, yeah, what, loses in the crew, it's the power, it's the funny, I know it's the holy of pride, it's like full of heads, and people know they're gonna die, that's what you do, it's the only thing there is, you just don't so life, what's you do, the recipe for success is the board of what you lose like a car address, then you send the mail down to basic address, 122, Mail Street, that avenue, Harrelson, Brenda, zip code 45, California, then you go to the mobile mail hotel and say you like to really make yourself do with yourself.
What's the difference between the COVID-19 pandemic and former comedian Rob Schneider, you ask? It's simple. Ridding the world of one of these great evils would be a scientifically complex task with a legally permissible solution. The other, a simple fix that's socially prohibited. The assailants perp walked their victim in narrow daylight before disappearing into thick air. It was a day of many contradictions.
What made you so special? Nothing.
I just like to eat bitches. I've invented a new system of biology called polynomial nomenclature. You just have to add two of the same kind of genus to each side and then subtract the opposite. So like take two snails and put a rabbit in it.
Really kind of bummed out. Nobody believes me about the little tree people again. Right, how many times they come and tap on the window. It's like they do their little evaporation puff of smoke trick every time I go and get someone else to see them. And that's fine. I get it. They're toying with me. It's cool. I respect that in the tree people adversaries. But it's like with these guys, it's like they're just trying to make me look crazy. I'm like becoming a pariah in my own community. I've had coworkers tell me that they were certain I was joking and then look at me funny when I told them no. These tree people are like, what they want is for me to rub them with Q-tips until I don't want to get into it. You know what people want when they start asking you to rub them. And it's just like they're only like 4 inches tall, and it's like I do not feel comfortable. They say they're over 400 years old, but I mean, how do I know? I see some ID, tree man, this whole thing. I looked into the eyes like dirtbags, thieves, and they were like, "I'm sorry, Mr. Jefferson, I don't think you'll be right for this job."
Why is this evil pompous always killing me?
Yeah, I'd like a Maximo cherry with Lamarckian sauce. Venti Grande. I've been ordering at the Starbucks window for like 6 hours and no service. Maximilian cherry. I got a great new idea, and you should too. It's called bee porridge. Another filthy leftist tip for those cold, hard nights when you're going through adrenochrome withdrawal and the walls seem to be spinning around you. You can't sleep. Your skin's burning. Your hair is falling out in clumps. What do? You can't kill a kid right now. I've got a solution. You need to take spun honey, not regular honey. It's like a butter substance. Spun honey. 16 deer livers, a walrus pancreas, drop of vanilla. You can sprinkle in cinnamon if you want, but it's not psychoactive. Brew this over an open flame and add half a candle drop worth of lemon juice. It has to be lemon juice. The citric acid activates the enzyme. You have to boil it for an hour, and for many, including myself, when I need to use this technique, this is the longest hour of your life. You're sweating bullets, and you can collect that sweat and put it through a distillery process to harvest additional adrenochrome fragments, even up to 72 hours after the last time you ingested adrenochrome. This substance is best vaped out of a light bulb that doesn't have frosting on it with a lighter. Now snort it up. Well, we got any Canadians in the audience tonight? Any Canadians? Any Canadians? Any Saskatchewanians? Canadian paleontology fans, this one's for you. Why was the Edmontosaurus afraid of the Albertosaurus? Well, it's because the Albertosaurus was the apex predator of the region. It was a large tyrannosaurid. The Edmontosaurus was a simple, average-size hadrosaur. What do you expect? Use your brain.
Sweet Mama Bacoon, Sweet Mama, please do call at Bethany School. It is 41258. We will hymnify them at Sanctity School.
Hegemonic structures in place to kind of limit the current parameters of what we're able to perceive as society themselves impose their own restrictions upon that perception that creates itself even as it manifests as something that is being perceived externally. So if it weren't for the internal effects of this social coercion or social signaling, that essence, that sense of community would, and society would fall apart instantly. For example, if I thought I was a giant banana and acted as such, quickly, all the social benefits that accrue to me as a human being that acts as a human being is expected to act instantly vanish. I become crazy banana man on a stretcher. And that's one of the problems with modern society. We don't have enough crazy banana men. If we overload the stretcher system, we saw it was possible with COVID. If we overload the stretcher system with crazy banana men, they won't be able to pick up the rest of them. And soon banana. Don't worry, business guys, I have a solve for this. It's that we use the goddamn word solution instead of solve when we're talking about it like I'm freaking now. So I've got this real friend, and he and I were talking, and he said, you know what's fun to smoke? And I was like, what? I never heard of anything like this. And he said, drugs. And I was skeptical at first, you know.
The tags of those Netflix kid shows will keep you up at night. I saw one that said diversity matters, which confused me because that's the opposite of what my racist white coworker says. So I asked a third person. They said, no, it does. And I was like, oh, one for Netflix. Know who to trust next time. Please, 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 please.
These are just some of the words you can use when asking for something. I was kind of spiraling. I was really worried. My wife said I make the kind of videos where I could lose my job over it. And just to be sure, because they got me worried, I emailed it to my boss. And I was like, am I going to lose my job over this? And he wrote back, what job? So it's fine.
Do you fold in at the corners? Are you moldy, old, and not quite golden? Then you need Smilodon, the vicious prehistoric predator. He'll rip you to shreds with his saber teeth because he loves ending the suffering of miserable people. Your problems will vanish in a few chunks.
Hey, biggie companies, it's time for the war of no representation without taxation. Looking at you too, church. Even though I hate Emperor Alito's guts, I have to say, in the interest of being collegiate, I don't hope he chokes on the live worms he eats just before sunrise each dawn. No, that would be cruel. I hope that it's the dead frogs he gobbles down and get away this thing.
The Alka-Seltzer King is real. He's coming. He plans to coat the land in a second darkness. And then it's going to be, what could we possibly do? It's going to be pop, pop, fizz, fizz. What kind of lization? Not civiliz. Because it'll end civilization, you see.
This is exactly the problem with young people today. They're not old enough. When I was 15, I was 27. And
the ceremony is almost complete. The time for the kidney has begun. Their time has come to rule over all mortals.
What is the difference between beloved Disney franchise The Lion King and disgraced comedian Pete Davidson? Well, you see, The Lion King generates money at the box office.
Did you know that 27 years ago, Radiohead changed the musical world by releasing Karma Police, a song that changed the world because it sounded like a song that could have been on the White Album that came out, what do you know, 27 years before that, or like around that. So I started studying this. I realized this is like the Pennywise life cycle. It slouches around every 27 years. So what I'm going to do is up the ante. What I'm going to do is put out another song. It's been about 27 years, right? The cycle slouches onward. But my song is going to, as I said, increase the stakes. Forget Karma Police. What I'm going to do is Maya FBI. The world is illusion, and the federal bureaucracy is here to investigate. That is why you will have to listen for this piano-driven, very White Album sounding song coming soon. I gotta get it on that cycle, baby, but I promise you, quality, that is what you'll get. Hi there. I'm just here at 2 a.m. reupholstering the neighbor's van. When it occurs to me, I'm not even sure if they want me to do this. I've never formally met the neighbor.
What is the difference? The difference between the fearsome creature paleontologists often refer to as the demon duck of doom and failed comedian Rob Schneider's post-2010 career? Well, the species Dromornis shirtoni once actually existed. Pah! Why was the long-crested hadrosaur so disappointed in his ruined country? Because he was Parasaurolophus would have stood up to tyranny long before things had reached this point. Why was the guy from the A-Team addicted to holographic sexual intercourse? It's because it just felt Dwight being with Digital Schultz. For you connoisseurs of the spoken word.
Hey, this is Danny Remix Cylinder, and you're watching BDBQBT VTV VTTTT VVV TV VT. Been getting these strange emails lately. They say things like 3 unread urgent messages from your lawyer or a mortgage desperately overdue. Act now to avoid foreclosure. What has Joe Biden's America got in store for our children?
Hypekit, and I'm working on a new waffles.
Burger King! Burger King Dynasty's a hood today! Sweet, sweet Burger King! Burger King waffles at the drive-you insert!
My pa always used to say weird things. He used to say, if I catch you shitting in a stream, boy, I'm going to paddle you. I never understood it. Yeah, he's been in the pen about 20 years for hog slaughter. Murdered a cop's motorcycle. One of my side hustles is that I work on educational albums for kids under like 70 different assumed names, and I just spam the market with them. Like 60% of it's me. Anyway, here's a song to help kids learn numbers. 1 is the number between negative 4.2 and 3,000,002. All right, so you know how people will come up and ask you for like cash or change on the street, and some of them, if you say, sorry, I don't have any cash, they'll just like walk on, act like you're not there. It's better than the ones who say mean things. I've heard a lot of hurtful truths from people in that situation. And with something like that happened to me the other day, but it was the weirdest thing. This gal comes walking up and she's like, I want an annulment. And I was like, we're not married. And she's like, you don't understand. I want us to get married and then get an annulment. I need it to stay out of the country. And I was like, but I'm already married. And she's just like, and just walks on like nothing even happened. Like, I've never been proposed to in a sense without them even, I felt like it wasn't about me, so I was happy to not marry her.
They're growing stronger by the minute. I don't think we can contain them. You ever seen them have basements where they have flies? Well, this is an above ground location. It also as well has flies. Report alert, I'm calling the feds.
This is messed up. My boss just FedExed me this cage. Told me to get in it, and there's this bigger box with a label on it that goes back to them, and they said to just
Don't let technocrats control the world's supply of feces. We need all the poop we can get to fight this revolution. Poop it up. Send it to anyone you know who supports our cause.
When is a meatball sub not a meatball sub? I've no freaking idea. I'm in a Walgreens pharmacy drive-thru trying to pick up my overdue medication.
People keep suggesting that for Halloween I'd be that like cosplaying Hulk guy from the drawing at the end of She-Hulk in the credits. And like, I get it, but I was thinking more of just like moaning potato.
Turns out that Bezos' latest ring had about as much power as the one he gave his ex-wife. Are you befuddled when you're befouled? Then you need Barclay's biogenetic pants. Why be a mess when you could be an ecosystem? Inject some dynamism into the dumps in your drawers with Barclay's biogenetic pants. We guarantee clouds of flies.
What gift did Santa Claus give the Velociraptor for Christmas? Well, a swift kick in the junkie was tiny. It was the Achillobator Santa was really afraid of. Reporting to you live from a maternity ward where this charming facility houses a dark secret. Babies, some of them as little as 1 hour old or less, are being kept here with their mothers in some kind of medical treatment center. And did the Chasmosaurus meet so intensely with the Styracosaurus? It's because the poor fellow was blind as a bat. He couldn't see the differentiating frill and horn features that would have led him to recognize the Styracosaur as a member of an entirely different ceratopsian species. God, 8 weeks ago I was at a Machine Gun Kelly. God, it hurts. 8 weeks ago I was at a Machine Gun Kelly concert, and I got to meet him. And then starting last night, I got these huge, just 2 rows, these giant bumps, and they're pulsing. And I told my friend, like, I think I got sick at the Machine Gun Kelly concert. I think when I met him, he made me sick. And my friend, he's like, it's been 8 weeks. Why would you think he's what got you sick? And I said, oh, that's how long it takes after being bitten for the eggs to fully incubate. You know, the wisdom you get from PragerU is equivalent to a diaper full of poop. So what I'm saying is you can poop your pants in just 5 seconds with one of my courses. My courses aren't YouTube videos. My courses are stick a paperclip into an outlet. You're an adult chicken. You have no social life, and yet you know that you have to pay taxes. Sound familiar? Hi, I'm Bob Vila. Chicken tax parenting specialist. Call right now. I know I've done jokey ones in the past, but I'm going to spot on Martin Gore of Depeche Mode impression. Spot on.
Das Warten ist vorbei. Depeche Mode ist zurück mit unserem neuen Album Sounds of the Universe. Well, I heard that people were downvoting and things. What I thought was one of the best impersonations that I've heard. I mean, we're supposed to be doing promotion, you know. I can't really say. So it was good.